Good afternoon, and welcome to the webinar, Benefits of Integrated Quality Control and Quality Management. This event, brought to you by Quality Magazine, is sponsored by ETQ and Hexagon. I'm Daryl Sealand, Editorial Director of Quality. Thanks for joining us. This is a live program, and we encourage you all to submit your questions. And later in the program, our presenters will address as many as possible. Today's event is being recorded and archived on qualitymag.com. And now I'm excited to hand it off to our moderator, David Isaacson.
Thank you, Daryl, and I'd like to thank Quality Magazine for hosting today's webinar. And I'd like to welcome everyone who's joining us today on this webinar. Excited to see everyone. My name is David Isaacson. I'm Vice President of Product Marketing for ETQ. And I'm really excited about today's topic, the benefits of an integrated quality control and quality management environment where you can connect what we look at as connected quality, taking quality from the shop floor to the top floor. I'm being joined today by Michael Perroni, who is responsible for partnerships, strategic partnerships at ETQ, as well as Dr. Zubida El Hashemi, who is responsible for strategic partners at Hexagon. Now, some of you may have heard that Hexagon is in the process of acquiring ETQ, and we'll talk about that. And in fact, Zubida will address that later in the presentation, but it's going to give us a lot of synergies, and hopefully as we go through today's presentation, it'll spark a lot of ideas and interest and understanding of what that really means to have connected quality. And to kick us off, going down that journey today, I'm going to turn it over to Mike Perroni. Mike, over to you.
Thanks, Dave. Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Perroni. And in my capacity of strategic business development, my role is to really place quality management in the overall ecosystem and tech stack of manufacturers. That did lead us to an amazing partnership with Hexagon, which you'll learn more about. But it puts me at the intersection between our customers, our product, and other technology and technologists. And so I'm excited to tell you more about that today. In fact, I'm going to start with a specific customer story, which is very exciting. And so this is a customer of ours, Wabtec. And they have a couple different divisions. They have one that focuses on freight trains as well as passenger trains. And our journey with them started, quite a few years ago. And they started with some specific business metrics that they were looking to improve. And I'll give you a quick example. One of the products that they would ship, brakes, if a defect made it out into the field, some of these resolutions to that defect could cost upwards of $60,000, right? So tens of thousands of dollars of expenses due to a defect leaving the shop floor. And so with our quality management, they were able to implement and automate best practices around quality management and quality issue resolution. Ultimately, that resulted in over $1 million a year in productivity gains. It also led to significant cost reductions on the order of $30 million. And they were able to achieve this by reducing defects. In fact, cutting out 25% of those defects. So it was a really big win for both of us on the freight side. However, that's really a story that is germane to quality management. What we're here to talk about today, and in particular with this customer, is the concept of connected quality and what benefits that can drive. All right, so what we've done is we've worked with them to take their shop floor quality control data and integrate it with their quality management system. And we had some predictions around what the benefits would be, which have come true, but we've also learned more about it. All right, so when we headed into this project that we did, and we've had enough time to collect data and understand the benefits, but we went into this project thinking that there was a lack of visibility around how rework decisions were made, there was a lack of understanding of how much rework was being done. And they had a very specific problem, which is their customers rarely accept partial orders, right? So if you have a run off the line, you're trying to get 100 parts, and one of them is suspect for not conforming, and you quarantine that material, the order cannot be shipped. So on-time delivery was something that was really interesting and important to them to solve. So ultimately, we went through this, and we did see that improved on-time delivery. What that came from was the fact that the speed at which they could not only identify, but also make a disposition decision on non-conforming parts was so accelerated that they were able to do it before the run was done. And if they were short on parts, they would know it before they would have to retool the machine. They also started really understanding and getting insight into their rework decisions. How often was it happening? Why was it happening? Some of these reworks were made decisions on the shop floor without any record of it. So now they have better insight into that, and they're collecting data that can enable them to make those decisions faster and at different levels of the shop floor. And this was actually a surprising benefit. We didn't really predict this, but they spend quite a bit of money retooling these machines after a run is done. And if they find that they're short on parts, they need to come back. They need to wait for the next run to finish. Then they need to retool the machine again, a 2 to 4 hour effort just to run 1 or 2 parts. So they understood the magnitude of the retooling cost in the context of these non-conforming materials. And then finally, there was further productivity gains. If they captured a non-conformance or even something that was trending towards out of control on the shop floor, that would create records automatically in their quality management system. And then all of that data is automatically available for the non-conformance process within their quality management. So there's less data entry and certainly less risk of bad data making it into the system. So this was a big win for all companies involved, and it really is germane to our story here, right? Which is we help our customers gain competitive advantage through getting benefit over time out of their systems, out of their investments, right? So we always have an ideal way to approach these projects where we're gaining value incrementally with every step of the way. And we'll touch a bit more on that moving forward. So really exciting customer story. Let me take a step back for a moment and give you some industry perspective. This is a report that Capgemini provided back in, I think it was 2019. And look, I'll summarize it for you. It basically says that while 2/3 of manufacturers have ongoing smart factory projects, only a fraction of them feel like they're being successful. And as they delve into this, they understood that there were 2 key challenges, right? One is convergence with your shop floor systems, your operational technology, with your information systems, in this case, quality management. And on the shop floor, in this case, we're talking about metrology and statistical process control. Those are very different structures. They're very different processes. And so converging those has its challenges. Secondly, there is a skills gap between the shop floor and the IT. So if they are to speak the same language, which is necessary to connect these, that skills gap on both sides needs to be closed. And so what it means from a quality perspective is that, one, you want to design with quality in mind, just like you would design with manufacturing in mind. Design with quality in mind. And secondly, drive effectiveness, right? Drive effectiveness in your operational processes. If you can accomplish those 2 things in your manufacturing operations, your quality issues are going to decrease. You're going to save money. You're going to have happier customers, and you're going to have more product coming off the line, i.e. higher revenue. So, but the key takeaway is this, is that in all of the customers that consider themselves successful in these endeavors, in these really industry 4.0 endeavors, in digital transformation efforts, the key takeaway is you cannot deliver a big bang approach. Thinking 5 years down the road, delivering value in 5 years after years of investment is just not going to fly. And that's probably an obvious statement, but if you reduce the scale in which we're talking, even 1 year projects, you're still delaying time to value. And so the takeaway from this, which you'll hear as a theme, both the way we did it with Wabtec, as I described, as well as some other use cases that I'll talk about, is that you can really get a small scope of work that has a discrete and quantifiable value that will be delivered. And that is what you're looking for as you navigate these complexities around digital transformation. And in particular, we're going to get the conversation focused on quality management and quality control, how connecting these should be small incremental steps that deliver value. So we'll take a little step back here and we'll talk conceptually about what this connected quality is. And certainly quality control is meant to identify problems, right? You're specifying what the outcome should be. You're measuring your material. Perhaps you're doing statistical analysis on that material to proactively and predictively identify quality issues. But at the end of the day, that is quality control. It's at the product level, at the machine level, at the operator level. Find a problem if it exists. Enter quality management. Quality management is a set of best practices in automated workflow. It is the resolution and the prevention of those problems identified on the shop floor, on the line by quality control. And what this allows us to do is then take that data and capture how effective your processes are, just from a quality management standpoint. And then it drives your continuous improvement efforts. And there's lots of workflows and applications that quality management brings than the ETQ brings to the table. However, think about how much more powerful that would be, those business processes, those decision criteria, those resolutions they would be, if we had an enriched data set, enriched with more details around quality control. And that is the essence of this. However, there is also a longer term effect as you think about digital transformation. The combination of these two really different sides of the same coin, by connecting these, we satisfy the reality that connecting quality control and quality management is on the critical path of transformation. Right? You can't complete your digital transformation without connecting these. And so after you automate your quality processes, as I discussed, and see benefit, just like Wabtec did in our initial efforts with them, you can then start to connect processes. And I've got a couple examples of that I'll show on the next slide. But these connected processes, whether it's quality control and quality management, or as you'll see, other business processes like financial and inventory management, et cetera. And then what that does is allows you to leverage your quality data. Right now you're getting an enriched data set. And so if you think about, say, a corrective action, root cause analysis is one of the first steps in that process. You have to identify what is at the root of this problem. And then you look across all of your root causes to see where the most common ones are. Imagine if you had quality control data in there, and you could be more accurate with your root cause analysis. You could do a better job of seeing commonality across all of your quality issues with this enriched data set. And then finally, that data is going to be necessary in order to start automating decision making, right? All of the business processes in quality control and quality management, whether it's inspection or whether it's nonconformance management or corrective action, et cetera, all of the decisions that are made currently by humans, can be augmented or automated with the right data set. And so while you're getting benefit today by becoming more efficient in connecting quality control and quality management, just like WebTech did in reducing their retooling cost, better on-time deliveries, et cetera, in the future, this data is going to be the premise for, one, recommending next steps and decisions through things like machine learning. And then ultimately, this data set is going to drive automated decision making, if not for all decisions, for a large portion of them, the standard kind of decision making that happens. So in summary, connecting these two systems has benefits today. We check that box. And then they also drive digital transformation in the future. So let's drill down. We'll take it to kind of a more specific use case. And in this example, any discrete manufacturer could fit this model, but you're on the shop floor and you are using tools such as CMM, like Hexagon's metrology equipment, or perhaps their statistical process control QDAS software. These softwares and this hardware are identifying the problems, as we said. Now, these problems, if identified immediately on the line, can kick off a process in quality management. However, throughout the entire product lifecycle, these problems, if not caught on the shop floor, can present themselves in different ways across the entire product lifecycle. And we show the end of that, which is the customer. There are several ways in between where these quality issues can present issue, but the end of that is the customer, right? If the customer complains, regardless of where the problem is found, whether it's from a metrology equipment or a handheld manual gauge that has a Bluetooth into your SPC software, or it's the customer, or anywhere in between, those are all quality issues that need to come into one place so you can identify what the common root causes are. And that allows you to flush out inefficiencies out of your system. So now if we jump into the world of quality management, we're generally starting with a nonconformance process. Right? That nonconformance process, again, could come from a customer or machine, but once the initial investigation is kicked off and that problem is understood, it can then kick off all the subsequent and relevant business processes, right? So by way of example, let's say that a corrective action is needed because in this case, there was a nonconformance due to operator error. Yet after an investigation, the analysis showed that it was really a lack of proper work instructions, right? So the CAPA process kicks off. It recognizes what the root cause is. It's improper documentation. That kicks off a document control revision process, all automated. Of course, there are humans in between that need to make decisions and do work, but it's all automated. All those hands-offs are automated, and it recognizes that because it's a new document, there's a training need for all employees. All of that is automated and connected now. So you are driving out quality issues with a lot less effort. And in many cases, quality is right in the middle of another business process. So you have your shop floor, it's producing parts. Those parts are using materials and they're producing whips or finished goods or whatever the ultimate SKU is. That has an inventory effect. You have supply chain that you need to pay invoices for. All of those processes are dependent on quality. So if your disposition of that non-conforming material is, use as is, rework, send it back to the vendor, scrap it, whatever those dispositions are, the downstream effect in, say, your financial systems must be recorded and can be automatic. So a disposition of, supplier fault returned to supplier can actually automatically create a discrepant material return in your ERP. And from there, ERP's already got it automated, right? It takes the right PO steps, whether it puts it on hold or whatever. It increments inventory or decrements inventory appropriately. all these things are business processes which cannot be automated without quality being automated. So these are really powerful use cases that drive efficiency and lower costs of scrap, rework, etc. In fact, let's talk about what some of those benefits are, right? So to start, let's work off of that use case. We've got something on the shop floor that's wrong. It auto initiates a nonconformance in the quality management system. And just in doing that, our customers, by the way, this data that I'm about to show you is based off of ETQ customers, and the study was done by a third party. And we've since then used this model over and over again with our customers to great success. So just in automating your nonconformance process, starting with the shop floor, customers expect to see greater than a 20% reduction in effort managing nonconformances. So if you've got, if you know how many hours you're spending per year on managing nonconformances, shave 20% off of that. And that can tell you what your productivity gains just by implementing automated nonconformance. There are many other opportunities around the shop floor, whether it's managing your supply chain and communicating with your suppliers to improve quality outcomes, or to make decisions around which suppliers to use in situations such as multi-sourced parts. And it goes around the entire shop floor. You can identify supplier quality that way, as well as you can start to introduce new products much more rapidly. So if your organization is always innovating, think about how cumbersome that new product introduction process is, to go through all of the quality checks, to communicate with your suppliers and hold them accountable, or communicate with your customers and prove to them that you're taking the right quality steps through audits, right? Or other ways to document this. And they each have their very powerful benefits. So I won't go through all these numbers, but if you just kind of take a look around the board, you're reducing time spent. You're reducing the risk of being non-compliant with either a regulation if you're in med device, pharma, or aerospace, or food and bev. You're reducing the risk of being non-compliant. And even if you're not in a regulated space, but you are ISO certified and compliant, there is still that same burden. So you are improving quality and reducing the time it takes new products to get to market. That brings your revenue into an earlier fiscal period. It gives you first mover advantage in some cases. And it ultimately allows revenue to rise over time. There's many other benefits, as you can see here, but this is where the big picture of connecting all these systems really starts to drive amazing efficiencies. So with that, David, I'll hand it back off to you.
Thanks, Mike. That was awesome. And I think what you showed really shows a lot of the power of what connected quality can do for an organization. At this point, as we get into the next part of the presentation, I'm going to give a quick overview of ETQ, and then I'm going to ask Zabita to come on and give a quick overview of Hexagon, and then after that, we'll start taking some questions. I know at the beginning you heard about how to enter some questions into the tool here, into the webinar system. Please feel free to do that anytime, and we'll get to the questions shortly. But I do want to just give a quick overview now of who ETQ is. We are in the quality management space. I mean, we've done quality management systems now for 30 years. There's a lot of experience that our customers can take advantage of based upon our quality abilities and the solutions we bring to market. We have an incredibly flexible cloud native QMS solution that our customers use every day. It is based in the cloud, being able to take advantage of the latest and greatest technologies. It provides extreme flexibility and scalability for our customers as they grow, as they need to do new capabilities. The flexibility of the system allows you to configure it to your needs. You're not restricted in terms of how you have to use the system. The system conforms to how you want to use the system. So it's really powerful in that regard. I mentioned 30 years of experience. We have hundreds of thousands of users who have taken advantage of the quality management system. And what's great about that is they share information with each other. Our customers span a very broad set of industries, and I'll give you an example of some of those in a moment. But the ability to understand best practices across multiple industries and then leverage those really advances the state of the art of quality management. And our customer experience we're focused on making sure that every customer is treated so well that the experience and the resources that are available, the training that's available is at your fingertips when you need it. When we look at quality and we look at what Mike talked about and all the different capabilities, it really is a journey. When you think about how you get from the day you decide you want to install a quality management system and then start to grow that and take advantage of lots of different capabilities over time, it's not a big bang kind of an approach that we like to take. It's more of a phased approach where you come in, you start with some basic capabilities. Maybe it's document control and training. A number of our customers take advantage of supply management, suppliers, and making sure that the integrations with their third parties are appropriate. But regardless of where you start, it's you get that going, get an understanding of how the system works and how it can be configured to your requirements, and then over time grow that capability. Mike talked about nonconformance handling. Certainly that is an area where a lot of our customers very quickly expand to. So go beyond some of the basics and corrective action and audits management, but now look at nonconformance handling, look at how do we integrate customer feedback. Mike talked about that as well. So all these different areas where we can start to integrate different capabilities. And that's not just integration within the QMS, but it's now out to the external world as well. So we integrate into third-party systems, whether we're integrating with the coordinate measuring systems or SPC or ERP, throw out a lot of acronyms here, but lots of different systems that can all integrate and share information and allow that acceleration of taking action and being proactive and not all of a sudden finding out that there's a problem and, oh my gosh, now we've got to go figure out what went wrong, but being at the front of those decisions. So taking action before something really becomes a serious problem. Expanding into the supply chain. It's not just integrating with other systems. It's integrating with your entire supply chain to make sure that quality exists throughout the whole process, not just in one area. It's not just the quality department that worries about quality. It's the whole organization that should be focused on quality. And then as you go through the whole digital transformation approach and looking at Industry 4.0, the smart factory, and just being able to continue to expand that usability of quality and leveraging what it can bring to an organization. So it really is a journey over time, and we see organizations at all stages of the journey right now. And when I talk about organizations, they're large, they're small, they're in multiple industries. As you can see from the screen, these are just 8 of the industries that we cover, whether it's manufacturing or life sciences or consumer goods or food and beverage and on and on. We take advantage of what our customers know, and our customers take advantage of what we know, and we share that information. We're able to take what one industry does as a best practice and bring that to other industries. Our teams understand what it takes for an organization to be successful, and we provide a platform and we provide a forum for our customers to share that information. So with that, I'm going to ask Zubida to come on and talk a bit about Hexagon.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, David. So just a little bit, introduction about myself. I'm Zubida El Hashemi. I'm actually the Global Director for Strategic Partnerships. I work closely with Mike Peroni and David and the team. I have been having actually the pleasure to drive the partnerships the last, 10, 12 months together with the team. And as David, has already introduced in the beginning, we are actually in the process of completing the acquisition of ETQ, and will come in all the team and the technology to Hexagon. A great, achievement, and great times ahead actually. So I belong to Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence. It's a subsidiary of Hexagon. I have been working for Hexagon for the last 10 years in different positions, global sales leadership for a business unit, as well as leadership for industry, and I took over the strategic partnerships actually 1 year ago, and I have the pleasure to work with ETQ. Now, I would like to introduce to you a little bit, Hexagon as a company. So Hexagon is a technology company. So we have been funded 30 years ago. We are headquartered in Sweden, but with a global presence actually with different offices across the globe. What we do is we provide solutions, hardware solutions, software solutions, and autonomous solutions to our customers in different market segments, in different regions, supporting them and enabling them actually to achieve what matters the most for them, which is, increasing their productivity while reducing the cost. Increasing, their efficiency while keeping their competitive advantages as providing the best-in-class quality product, and of course, supporting them and helping them to reduce their waste. Hexagon, I'm going to be here, I think, a lot about autonomy. Our focus is autonomy. So putting the data to work, making sure that, processes and the tasks are increasingly becoming autonomous. And this is I would say, the goal of all our smart solution portfolio across Hexagon. Our focus is autonomy. So we would like to leverage the data to put the data at work, whether it's processes, machines, people, all the data that can be captured, put this data to work to enable, our customers to go beyond automation and actually access to autonomy. So this is really our, I would say, paramount goal. We are committed to innovation. With over almost 400 employees actually in R&D, and we have an R&D hub actually who is focusing on providing best-in-class solutions for all our Hexagon divisions. Our innovation is very strategic, so we are customer-driven. Whatever we do it actually for purpose of supporting the customer. We are solution-focused, so our R&D activities are pretty much answering the need of the market and the need of the customers in the different actually industries, and supporting them to address the most challenging, problems that they are facing and today's mega trend. We are very active. We are very innovative. Over 3,700 active patents. And our purpose, actually, we are driven by purpose. So what we want to do is support our customers to, as I said before, to put the data to work, processes data, historical data from, the way they have been doing things, to actually improve their efficiency, improve their productivity, and have a better quality. And of course, this is going to lead into more sustainability, more less resources that are used, less waste, and of course less pollution. When it comes to our finance, we have been growing since the past 30 years very, very consistently. We have a proven, a track record, and we have been growing from $500 million in 2000 to over $4 billion actually in 2021, with approximately today more than 21,000 people across the globe. Across actually 50 countries. We are pretty much committed to partner with our customers. As I said again, I mean, we are very customer focused, and we believe in an ecosystem. So we believe that we can't do, everything alone. So we listen to the customer needs. So we listen to what the customer, is looking for, and we build around, as you know, an ecosystem that brings to our customer an end-to-end solution for what he is looking for. And our partnership actually with ETQ was with the same vision: how we can support our customers with a quality management system that we didn't have in-house. So in the past year, where we have been working towards, providing a solution, end-to-end solution for smart manufacturing for our customers, the partnership, what we started with ETQ was actually strategically toward that goal, to support our customers with, the solution he needs. Now, of course, when it comes to supporting our customers, our paramount concern is how to make them successful. So they are on a daily basis, challenged. They are facing a huge megatrend. They are trying to remain competitive, in a world that has never been so changing, especially when you see in the last, years, it's crazily dynamic. And for them to remain competitive, it depends on how fast and how, effective they are responding to the megatrend. And the megatrend in the industry are really very diverse. I mean, if we look into, the future of mobility, for instance, today, in every company which is actually active in the transportation industry is speaking about electrification. So electrification is the hottest topic today in mobility. Few years back, we didn't hear a lot about electric vehicles. Today, you can see electric scooters, EV scooters. You can see electric mobiles, electric cars, electric airplanes, eVTOLs, and you have, this is very fast changing, environment. And for our customers to be innovative and to bring, electrification at the highest level, they need also solutions. They need innovative technologies. And this is, what, as a company, we would like to support them to do. And again, if you take, for instance, the energy sector, I mean, the energy today, whether it's, renewable energy, whether it's the wind energy or solar energy, is becoming really affordable. And it's changing the landscape. It's changing actually the environment and the economy nowadays. And even when we speak about mobility and electrification, we need actually to get power for, to cope with the ever increasing numbers of vehicles that we're projecting to have a few, I would suppose, few billion in few years. So and again, here you need technologies that support this fast and dynamic changes. Hydrogen is something that is coming, and you need with the different actually issues that are related to it. And sustainability is something also that it is a paramount concern for Hexagon as an organization. We would like to support our customers to build sustainable product. So sustainability is driving regulation, is driving development of new product, and it can actually bring it up or bring it down. It can kill the product overnight. And sustainability, when you are providing and entering actually a new product into the market in a sustainable manner, you need to have to do it actually across the whole development cycle. And this is a very complex equation that has, different attributes and different parameters actually that needs to be taken into account. And this is what we want to, support our customer to do. And again, many challenges. One of them that I think is very important to highlight is hyperconnectivity. I mean, we as human beings today in the 21st century, we want everything to be, connected. We want our light to be connected with our door, with our TV, with our phone, with, so we are really living in an environment where the more connected we are, the better and the more comfortable we feel. And this is, at the personal level, but also at the professional level. In the manufacturing, in the shop floor, you want to connect the people, the processes, the machines to make sure that, everything is smoothly working together. And this is, what enables actually improvement in the productivity, in efficiency. And the more autonomous you go, the better actually you are going to be productive and optimized. Hyperconnectivity has, I would say would be useless if we are not getting the data and collecting the data and then analyzing the data to support faster, better, smarter decision making. And for it to be smarter, faster, and better, artificial intelligence is key. And there, Hexagon is playing a key role, partnering, working together, developing solutions to empower, our all our software portfolio and smart solution portfolio with AI and machine learning to make sure that we support this this data that is collected. We support it with we empower it with artificial intelligence to support faster and better and smarter decision making. So a lot of mega trends, and we as a company, we would like to support our customers to cope with these mega trends and support their customers in their turn. And what is it what they want to do? So I said before that our focus is autonomy. So we would like to support our customers to move from smart factory to what's called smart manufacturing. So from automation to autonomy. And I mean, if you look into how the manufacturing was evolving since since the years, where actually we were going from mechanization to the mass production to the industry 3.0, which automation was brought into the picture. Now IoT is brought into the picture. Now hyperconnectivity is brought into the picture, where you are connecting the machines, the data, the processes, and collecting this data, analyzing this data, and making sure that we learn from the past, we learn from the history of this data to enable improvement in the processes. And at every stage, actually, we have a feedback loop to enable autonomy. And this is the holy grail. How can we have autonomous manufacturing? And if we go there and if we reach there, then actually we are reaching the best the best manufacturing possible. And this is what we aim as a company to support our customer to do, move from automation toward autonomy. And why we believe actually that we're able to do that, because historically we're coming from the data. So Hexagon has been founded in the beginning. We were actually data collection. So we are coming from the sensor. We sense everything. We can capture anything, and we capture everything actually in the physical world. And year after year, we were bringing onto our sensor solutions. We were bringing actually software solutions, being it to design and simulate any kind of scenarios. And also we have solutions that delivers awareness of location and location intelligence. And bringing these two together, being it the physical world and the digital world, this is what enables us actually to provide autonomous solution. We call this smart digital reality. So it's very, very, I think our position is very strong because we come from the sensor world, we come from the real world, and then we brought on the top of the real world, we have the digital world. We are bringing the digital world and the physical world together, so fusing the physical and the virtual, and then enabling actually smart digital reality, which will be digitally accessible, infinitely connected, and autonomously intelligent. So this is, our goal, and this is the way we want to support our customers. Now today, Hexagon is a trusted, supplier by the community, and in the different across the globe and in different industries. Over 95% of all car produced, if you are driving a car, 95% chance that, so some parts or maybe many parts have been actually manufactured using one or multiple technologies from Hexagon. 90% of aircraft when you are flying actually are using some technology from Hexagon. If you are calling, using your smartphone, 75% of the smartphone has been produced actually using Hexagon solutions, and 80% of orthopedic implant produced are using Hexagon. These are just, 4 industries that I am showing, but the sky is the limit. Hexagon is used in many, many industries, and our objective is actually to help our customers set the future of product and services in the different industries. So this is actually about Hexagon. Now, David has already shared with you the great news. So in the 25th of February, it was a special day. It was a great day and an amazing day, where actually Hexagon has announced the acquisition of ETQ. Very, very strategic, acquisition. We as a leader, Hexagon is a leader in quality data capture and in smart digital reality. And we believe that ETQ is a perfect fit. It will enable our customers to, take the data, integrate the data coming from, let's say, metrology to ETQ Reliance, and this will give them more. This will bring them to the next level, actually, of autonomy. It will be enabling them also to put the data to work coming from quality, from process for, continuous improvement. ETQ also brings together the whole ecosystem. So they connect the data, quality data, process data coming from the whole supply chain. And, bringing together, the ETQ Reliance to Hexagon, it will be enabling the whole ecosystem, customers and suppliers, to share their data and then to communicate in a seamless manner and then benefit from the ecosystem. We are very excited about this acquisition. It has been a fantastic journey, working with ETQ as a strategic partner. I think from day one, we were more than partners, to be quite honest. We were shaping the future for smart manufacturing, smart quality, and, continuous quality improvement. We have been working in the different geos. We had positive, feedback from all the regions where we were showcasing our, joint value proposition. And I think this acquisition is a fantastic, news for us as a company, but also for our customers. And together, 1 + 1 = 3. I would say 1 + 1 is equal 30. So I think we're gonna really do a hot stuff. We're gonna really, I think, enable our customer to move to the next steps. And our holy grail is to enable autonomy. I think together we are ready, and we are ready and willing to go down that road. So thank you so much. This is what I wanted to say about Hexagon. I hand it over to David.
Thanks, Zubida. That's really, really exciting. And I'm sure that there are a lot of questions potentially about the acquisition, and there are certainly questions about what Hexagon provides into the marketplace. If you're not aware, want to get more information, one great venue for that will be Hexagon Live, where you can join us all in Las Vegas. Not a bad place to go in June. And to get more details about that, you can see on the screen the website for registering for Hexagon Live. I hope to see everybody in Vegas. And with that, what we're going to do is we're going to open it up to questions while I put some additional resources up on the screen. And so what I'm going to do is just start going through them. So give me a moment just to take a look here. I know you just went through this a bit, Zubida and Mike, both, talking about ETQ and Hexagon and why it makes sense to integrate. What originally led to the two companies looking to partner? I don't know, Mike, do you want to start there and then have Zubida fill that in?
Yeah, sure. It's actually a really, really simple and arguably obvious answer. This discussion and partnership started over 2 years ago, and I distinctly remember being in the room with Hexagon executives and ETQ executives, and the conversation went something like this. So this is Hexagon. We identify problems through our metrology and our SPC, and we'd ask, so what do you do once the problem's found? They said, we don't know. That's not our purview of responsibility. And they said, well, what do you do, ETQ? And we said, we drive quality issues to resolution, and we make sure they don't happen again, all under the umbrella of compliance. Make sure you're compliant. And they said, well, how do you identify problems? We said, we don't. So it was like really clear. It was such a simple marriage, Dave, where it's like, they identify problems on the shop floor. We look at it from a process effectiveness standpoint at the enterprise level. And those two things were just a simple marriage. And then we started kind of developing this a little bit more. And we talked to our first customer. And the first customer said, yeah, there's huge value in that. Asked another customer. Oh, yeah, absolutely huge value. Asked another customer. We actually have projects planned. We then asked more customers. We either got really interesting or mostly we have projects. Then we started talking to customers that actually had done some of this. And so then our charter became, let's not validate that this is important anymore. Let's go find someone who thinks this is a bad idea. And that's the only thing that we failed on. We couldn't find anyone to tell us that this wasn't valuable. So, at that point, we started talking to our customers and we started doing projects and joint proofs of concepts. And it just kept getting stronger and stronger, more and more developed. And, somewhere along that path in 2021, we said, well, we should be partnered on this and make an announcement. We did that. And then obviously, we, so to speak, put a ring on it in 2022. So that's the whole story from my perspective.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that, Zubida?
No, great. I mean, as you said, we have been partnered for the last year. I think that was very strategic for us. Hexagon Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence has always been known actually for, dimensional quality. So we measure actually things, and collaborating with you guys, bringing quality at the enterprise level was just fantastic. That was the idea, to bring end-to-end solutions for smart manufacturing. It was a fantastic journey, and yeah, we put a ring on it, as Mike said, in February 25th. So that's a day to remember.
To your earlier point, right? What we recognize through this process is that this is about quality management and insight into quality from the shop floor all the way to the top floor. And that's the message that ultimately came out of this, and how powerful that is. You can have a quality engineer on the shop floor making decisions, and an executive looking at analytics to understand how they can make their business more effective. It's just one digital thread throughout the entire organization that has value in every single level. Excellent.
Now, Mike, you talked about Wabtec and some of the work that had been done there. You talked about that early on in the presentation. Is that productized? There's a couple questions on wanting to know if that's something now that people can actually buy.
Yeah, it is productized. There's certainly variability in terms of requirements from customer to customer, and the platforms that we use to productize this are super flexible. So the starting point is amazing, and even if you have some unique requirement that's a little funky outside of the norm, we've got ways to solve for that. So yeah.
Great. And then and I don't know, Zubida, maybe you can take this one. What markets would this be most effective in?
To be quite honest, every market. So all manufacturing. So I come from Hexagon Manufacturing Intelligence, which is actually the discrete manufacturing. But I have sister companies who actually come from the process manufacturing. I have other sister companies coming from safety and infrastructure. So definitely the manufacturing, as a whole, is a market where we want to go to. Automotive, aerospace, healthcare, and the beauty of it is that we are also complementary. The both of us. Quality has a very important role actually in healthcare, where we would like to go, and we're pretty much also very strong in aerospace. You've seen we are very strong in aerospace, in electronic, in automotive, and this is also where we're gonna go together with ETQ. So yeah. Every market and manufacturing, definitely we're going to start from there.
All right, and I have a question that's a little bit more specific, Zubida, for you as well, on SPC data. If an account, and we got this question, has SPC data in different systems, how do they integrate all those?
Yeah, so when you have SPC data from different sources, we have a solution called QDAS. So, and we have a solution called Exalt that can integrate actually all the data towards QDAS. So as soon as you route all the data to QDAS, QDAS can capture it, and then this is what we have been working on, is how a QDAS can actually communicate with ETQ to trigger nonconformance when there is a nonconformance that is actually identified by QDAS.
Okay, great. And Mike, for you, here's a question. How would a system like ETQ Reliance work with an ERP or an MES? And what kind of integration capabilities are there?
Yeah, well, there's a ton, Dave. There's a ton of opportunity, right? And so from a technology standpoint, it's really a non-issue. I mean, we've integrated with hundreds of ERPs, and they range from SAP, Oracle, Epicor, QAD. I mean, we've integrated with every ERP. There tends to be very specific business processes. I did touch on one, which was kind of the PO and inventory management. But there are job level integrations, job contract, subcontract level integrations. There are if you're doing things like asset calibration and maintenance as a quality event, that can integrate with either ERP or MES. So there's a lot of use cases that we've not only identified, but our customers have actually executed. So that's, frankly, those use cases are specific to the company, but I would all but guarantee that we've done something like it relative to, say one of our customers. We've got examples of that. So there's lots of ways that we do that. And I hope some of those examples help clarify. But we're talking about business processes, not technology. The technology is easy. The business process is variable, and we've kind of nailed it, so to speak. We may have lost Dave, but what I'll do, I think I have access to some of these questions. I'll give a shot here. So I got one from Palash. Who does the implementation of this solution? Do you have implementation partners in APAC? I mean, the short answer is that there's options. I mean, we do it. Hexagon has capabilities. We've got a local and global system integration across the globe. So depending on where you are, the short answer is yes.
Hey, Mike, sorry about that. I got bounced out there for a second.
Yeah, I saw that. That's no problem.
Yeah. So I don't know if you answered this one. What about ETQ software? Came from Larry about managing corrective actions and nonconformances. I know you touched on that a little bit.
Yeah, that's germane to the software. So Larry, we have workflows, in fact, best practices that we've learned over 3 decades. And the nonconformance process is all set up. You've just got to kind of put your users in there. Who are your users and roles, and how does your business do it? And all of our applications, when relevant, are integrated. So where a typical process is a nonconformance kicks off a CAPA, that's click of a button easy in our system. We have applications specifically to address your needs, Larry. That's the short.
And I know we've just about reached the end of the hour here. I'm going to turn it back over to Daryl, but before I do that, I'd like to thank Mike and Zubida both for a great hour. And I'd also like to thank everyone for attending this webinar. We will have a recording available. I think Daryl might mention how to get access to that. And again, thanks everyone for being here today.
Excellent. Thank you all for a great discussion.
Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. So please join me in thanking David Isaacson, Michael Perroni, and Zubida El-Hashimi for their presentation, as well as our sponsors, ETQ and Hexagon. If you have any additional questions or comments, please don't hesitate to click the Email Us button on the console. I want to remind you that we'd love your feedback in our webinar survey to help improve our programs. Please also visit qualitymag.com/events for the archive of this presentation, as well as information about our upcoming events. We appreciate your time and hope you found this webinar to be a valuable experience. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you so much. Have a great